Plex offers so much. I mean, you can load in your own movies, your own TV shows, which is the root of what Plex offers. However, since Plex has launched, they've launched all kinds of new features. Example, live TV and DVR. That was a huge update. Now Plex has its own version of live TV. They have their own movies and TV shows that you can watch free of charge, no account, as long as you want to watch a few commercials. They added things like music, podcast, web shows, which is almost like a YouTube thing. And of course, news. So if you want to watch news all from Plex, this is all a thing. So it's no surprise that Plex is continually to expand their horizon and go into things that, honestly, I just did not see coming at all. And that new features is games. Yeah, you heard me right. Games. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Buy My Bits. Full disclosure before I get into this video, yes, I have a monthly sponsorship through Plex. I did get a little bit of an early access to this new feature, so just keep all of that in mind. However, I also do want to say that I try to be as transparent as possible, and it's all not rainbows and butterflies. So I'm going to give you a few things that I ran into along the way getting this going, with a little asterisk saying that this entire thing is brand spanking new, and they're going to build on top of it. They're going to, obviously get some patches and some upgrades and things like that, updates. So, just kind of keep all that in mind. So Plex and games, they are calling it Plex Arcade. They're actually introducing some old school games, bringing a little bit of nostalgia for me, arcade and Atari style games, which is crazy. I don't even know how they do this. These Plex developers, they're just, wizards. But arcade/Atari games integrated right into your Plex. You can play it on your iPhone, your Android device, your Apple TV, for example. Or if you really want to, you can play it straight from your Chrome browser. You can play some of the games like Missile Command, Tic-Tac-Toe, Ninja Golf, which never heard of before, but I'm throwing it in here anyways. One thing that was missing though, Asteroids. I really like that game. That was my favorite. So this is an update that is literally launching today. There's a few caveats. Get that out of the way. Okay, one, it will only run on a Windows or a Mac server. I know that's going to take a lot of you Unraid peeps out there, your Linux peeps out, even your NVIDIA Shield peeps out there. You're kind of, left out in the cold for right now. Again, new feature, give it time. But if you are running a Windows or a Mac server, you can go to Plex right now, download the latest version, which, let me get my notes here real quick, is version 1.21.2.3932, or newer, depending on when you see this video and how many updates it come out with. Once you download and update your server, you're going to want to create a Parsec account. Parsec are the people who are teaming up with Plex in order to stream these games to your Plex devices. Kind of crazy how they do it. Again, wizards. You create your free Parsec account, then you go back to Plex, you go underneath your account settings to the other services, and you link said new Parsec account. By the way, I went through all this setup process and I was having major issues just racking my brain, and then I realized I'm setting everything up on this NUC, that little NUC that's super overpowerful for what it does. It's a Windows machine, that's why I'm using it. I just got everything set up and started using everything from my main computer, not realizing that I needed to allow this game device transcoder thing access outside of my firewall. So keep that in mind. If you do this remotely, you want to make sure that your firewall rules are updated accordingly. So you got your Plex updated, you got your Parsec account, you got everything linked. You should be good to go. Now, here's the fun part. This is not one of those features that they're shoving down your throat or anything like that, whatever people want to say. Instead, in order to access these games, you have to go to your server and add a new library. You should see a new option that pops up and says games. Just click on games and click on add. That's all you got to do. It'll take a second to refresh, but you should see, at least at the time of recording this video, around 27 games. Now those 27 games are derived from arcade style games and the Atari 2600 and 7800 consoles. Actually, was Asteroids on those? Plex, where's Asteroids? Okay, back in the day, I had like a step grandmother, and I would go over to her house, and she had an Atari and had Asteroids on it. I'm pretty sure it was an Atari, and I played the living effing heck out of that game. So, you know, that's my nostalgia. What's yours? Once you get the games added, you're refreshed, you see all your games, you have a couple different options here. Either one, you could download and update your iOS or Android app and you can play it directly from your phone. Or two, you can use Chrome and just play it directly from your web browser. To play it from your computer in a Chrome web browser, I would highly recommend a game controller. Specifically, I have an Xbox controller I hooked up with USB. It seemed to recognize and pick up everything automatically, so that was the best way. I tried originally with, the keyboard, but it's just kind of sort of a whole lot of guessing as far as what works, and it may or may not all work. And there's like no guidelines to tell you, hey, this is what keyboard things you should use. So I definitely recommend a controller. That's the best way so far that I've seen it has worked. Another thing is it really did automatically pick up the game controller. There was no settings that I could choose. I just tried with keyboard, failed miserably, plugged in the game controller, did a refresh on the whole screen, and next game I played, it just, oh yeah, Xbox 360 or whatever controller. It is a little fun to play on your iPhone. The only thing I can tell is that, the controls, they show up on your screen. If you want to move left, right, up, down, whatever, you have to pick up your thumb, go over, move to the other one. Like, it's not as seamless. I'm sure people out there will probably be way better at it than I was, but I was completely content with playing in my browser with a game controller. It was way more fun for me. Another side note, you definitely want to tweak your game controller as far as the sensitivity goes, because I tried to play Missile Command and that thing was just all over the board. So you might have to lower the sensitivity within your game controller settings. Now, to get to some of the downsides, again, this is, brand new feature, still in development, lots of improvements are to be had, hopefully even more games, Asteroids, just saying, Plex. When I installed everything into my new server, I got everything updated, I was having issues actually playing the games. I got it to load once, and then I tried to play another game, and I just could not get games to load. I went through a couple rounds of just completely force closing everything related to Plex. Then I could go in, play one more game, and then everything would crash again. I verified the issues that I was having with somebody else that's also, going to be launching a video today, probably already have. But after some fiddling around, I realized that with the new update, it has a new task process called the game transcoder, and that seemed to be hanging. And once I killed that task, I was able to play game after game without any issues, both on my iPhone and on my Chrome browser on my PC. So there was something weird with that task. If you do go down this route and you're having issues like that, just kill that game transcoder task and your game should play just fine. Your mileage may vary. This is the workaround that I found. Overall, it seems to run pretty good. Once you kind of, disable your firewall, or at least allow the Plex transcoder thing to connect through your firewall, and also you figure out the whole game transcoder hanging thing. Now there is one more thing. I did try to disable the Wi-Fi on my iPhone and just play through LTE, essentially remote connecting to my server to play the games to see if that was possible, something I could do on the go, like Plex specializes in as far as being able to watch your content anywhere you want to. And unfortunately, it looks like these games are limited to LAN only, which means you have to be connected to the same network in order to play these games. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm sure this is a whole licensing thing through, Parsec and Plex, but I just want you to know that if you're trying to do this remotely, you're probably going to have a bad time. So with all that said, let's get down to the price. If you have a Plex Pass, you have to subscribe in order to play these games. It's $2.99 a month. If you do not have a Plex Pass, which you should, use my links in the description. If you do not have a Plex Pass, it is $4.99 a month. And I'm not going to tell you to run out and buy this, especially in this very new phase where, maybe they're going to be adding games, maybe definitely the stability's got to get better. But what I can say is that they do offer a 7-day free trial. So if your curiosity is going to get the best of you like it did with me, and you run a Windows server and or have a test Windows box to install it on, I definitely recommend trying it out. It is something new. It's something interesting. And you have to add the library. So it's not like it's going to confuse anybody, or you have to opt out of something, or it's going to be nagging you to use it. So that in itself as a bonus. So that's it. Plex added a new feature called Plex Arcade. I never would have imagined they would get into games, and I severely hope they're going to continue to add more of these old style games. I mean, they're fun. Come on. If you're like me, you grew up playing some of these old games. I maybe was more in the NES category. You know, I'm not that old, but I did play a lot of the games over at my grandmother's house. So, you know, there's still a little bit nostalgic just brewing in my brain right now. If anything, 7-day free trial, check it out for yourself. See if you like it. Well, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or problems with this, make sure to post them in the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe below, and have yourself a good day. And honestly, there's a few games that I want to get back to playing. There's shooting spaceship stuff. Okay, so thank you. Have a good day.